Hello, everyone. I'm so excited because I have my dear, beautiful friend and colleague, Lauren Aroney, and she is a multidimensional artist, a spiritual channel based in Sydney, Australia. Lauren's purpose is to be a channel of higher dimensional light by bringing through the blue star transmissions. Lauren's mission is to assist with the great shift in consciousness that is now occurring globally, and she is passionate about inspiring and empowering people to connect with their divine self and express their unique frequency here on Earth. I'm so excited. Thank you, Lauren, for being here.
Well, it's truly my joy and my pleasure to connect with you again and just connect in this space and just flow with a beautiful conversation of divine energies. I love just showing up in this space and seeing what's going to come through.
Well, we were just chatting before about how we're moving beyond the 5D. And I felt, oh my God, I felt so validated when you said that to me because I have been tuning in for my guides and I've been personally going through this shift. And I was seeing them saying, like, I saw the vision of them saying, like, we are in the 3D, 4D, but it's almost like a invisible energy field, like pulling us up into the 5D and beyond. And the galactic space beyond that, massive. There's massive energy beyond that. So I would love to hear your take. What has been your experience?
Well, as you're describing that, like tuning into that truth, I just feel this joy and expansion in my body. I can really feel the truth of what you're saying. And yes, you made a video about this, talking about moving beyond D. And I felt so much resonance when you shared that in that video. And that's exactly what I've been tuning into as well. So we're in May and we've just moved through like Easter and the equinox. So I felt through that timeline was a really key marker point that we moved through. And when I was tuning into the higher dimensions and meeting with the Council of Shambhala, which is a group of beautiful ascended masters that I work with, there was this sense that we had completed, once again, like completed one phase and we're in between and then we're moving into a new phase. So we have gotten to a point like collectively where many people have awakened, remembered their divine connections, or are working on or have awareness of their soul or their higher self, or coming more into the heart space, which is essentially what 5D is. It's coming into a new operating system of true unconditional love and really being grounded in that space and creating from that space and living in that frequency. And now that we've gotten to a certain, I guess, percentage of people who are really embodying that frequency, it's opened up the gateways for us to go even higher. So what I've been tuning into in my meditations is 7D and higher, and consciousness that doesn't have a name, brand new energies, new, I guess, groups of beings that I'm still exploring and tuning into because it's new even for me, which is exciting. And I can't wait to bridge those frequencies more consciously once I've, explored them or integrated them. And yeah, so I was so excited when I saw your confirmation of that too, because, it's always good to feel like, oh yes, no, I'm tuning into what is truth. And yeah, it's just great to have that feedback.
Yes. Oh my God, you hit something so resonant with me is that we're moving beyond like one of the last layers of conditioning that has been like being shed, and so many people are experiencing this is the performance and the forceful energy. Like that you are doing things but not consciously doing them. And so we're truly shedding whatever performance energy that we had connected to like hustle and grinding and forcing and pushing when things just aren't feeling in alignment into now it's like a blank slate. Like the way that I felt it, it was the energy was like we have shed those programs and now we are truly connected with our divine essence, and the motivation from the creative space is truly about joy. It's like, what do I want to create from my natural essence, like my joy today? Not because I'm doing it for performance, not because I'm doing it to please somebody or anything like that. And so I had this moment of almost purposelessness. I was like, wait a minute, what is going on? Like, I don't feel motivated for anything. I don't feel inspired to create anything. And I was like, there's something wrong because I had this operating system of, this is my purpose. I'm a healer. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And then we moved through the shift and I was like, whoa, where did my motivation go?
I'm going to echo that's exactly pretty much my experience too. Because within that in between space, there's nothing to really hold on to. Like you're in unfamiliar territory, so to speak, because you're transitioning from this older system to the new one. Yeah, absolutely echo the same feeling. I didn't have any strong transmissions coming through, anything to create. And for me, that's like not usual. So I did have a little bit of like a bit of fear, a bit of doubt. No, got to tune in deeper to see what's really happening and then really trust, because this has happened before. You're asked to pause and then really trust that almost that void space in between. And I have been through that enough times now to know, I know on the other side, I'm going to have more expansion and a different perspective. And as I am coming through from that pause phase, there's this sense of truly lifting the lid into a more limitless space. Like truly, when you're going even higher in those dimensions, it's even more possibilities than the current programming of about what Lauren thinks is possible to bring through transmissions, to hold space for, to bridge. Like there's things that my mind probably still can't comprehend that have to integrate. And I love that. I love there's things to explore. There's things that I don't know about. There's things that are coming to me that are new. And this sense of, yeah, playfulness and true freedom of like, you can do or be or go anywhere in this space. And that can be really overwhelming as well, because you're like, well, where do I start or where do I go first? But it's a very empowering feeling as well, I found.
Thank you for sharing that. Oh my goodness. So you have shared that you're tuning into these new frequencies and perhaps they haven't fully integrated yet. So what you have experienced so far with the divine transmissions and the higher frequencies we're moving into, why is this important for humanity now? Like, why are we, for so long, we've just been so focused on let's anchor into 5D, let's anchor into 5D. So many spiritual leaders are about 5D, 5D. Now with this new energy coming in, we're almost like, what do I do with this? Like, what's the purpose of us expanding beyond that?
Yes. And that's such a good question. And I think I'm still holding that question within me as well. But as you're saying that, I sense the guidance of the Ascended Masters here very present with us. And part of the guidance they have actually already given me this is one, you have now been given the responsibility of the 5D frequency. So there's a deepening of the embodiment of that too. It's like, well, you're walking into mastery now, so you have the responsibility of walking as a master, right? Mastering the self. And so there is this handing off, like you now have to be and act in that space. And you have to be really accountable to yourself in a high level of integrity. I think that's what they're trying to really communicate. And the other thing they guided me with this is the deepening within the actual physical body. Now, I think you mentioned this too in your video, is that one can tune into all of these higher dimensional frequencies and beings, but the actual embodiment of them is quite different. We are moving into a crystalline operating system and a crystalline body, which means our light body, which is more of our pure essence, is coming into our physical form. So there is a turning towards the body's needs in this time to even more deeply anchor the crystalline light within the cells, the DNA, the blood, everything in our physical vessels. So yeah, the attention to the physical body is important, and the responsibility of self-mastery and walking as a master. So when I work with the Ascended Masters, they are always telling me, we are walking alongside you. We are not, the ones commanding you or, an authority figure. They are truly have us right next to them as brothers and sisters in our divine remembrance. And that helps us understand where we do stand within the ascension here on earth. Some of us, that is our role to walk and be a master. And I'll just say this, there is a percentage of the population who will not participate fully in the ascension process, or there's certain levels of participation in the process. And there will be, I do sense this, there will be certain times in the mass consciousness of humanity, whether this is triggered by some kind of event or some big challenge that humanity faces, there will be a big number of people who turn to us, turn to our tribe for guidance and assistance and healing. I really feel that there'll be this sudden need for us to really step forward and be guides to our fellow brothers and sisters worldwide. I think that's a key point as well.
Oh my goodness. So I kind of want to share a little bit something because I've seen in sessions beyond the new earth, like these are roles that are here beyond the new earth. So I feel like we're also downloading the roles that we're going to play once new earth has fully arrived and the higher technology and frequency is available to us to start building it. And so I feel like we're receiving that information now, even if we might have to hold on to it for a little bit in order to bring that into fruition. So like one of the things I saw were like these spaceships with like higher codes for the sustainability of New Earth. And I was like, how do you explain that to someone? And it's really about our inner knowing, right? Like when we are ready to share that, the codes will activate within us or they will be shared with us. But it is about bringing through that frequency now so we have the connection to it. And I was like, there is something so much bigger that I don't think I've heard anyone talk about, at least at the frequency and awareness that I was in. And now moving into the space, connecting with you and other fellow ascension leaders, I was like, this is it. This is the next step for humanity.
Yes, I got chills in my body when you were speaking about like stepping into the new roles of what we will be holding when the new earth is like even more visible and more tangible, and the anchoring. Yes, the anchoring of like, they gave me this word, it's like the architecture of light of the new earth. Like there's further anchoring. I see them as pillars and blueprints actually in light and light codes, just like you're describing. And yes, it's like what you said, it's kind of, it's landing the ideas and the feelings of what that potential is, like that new role that you might be playing. But it, when we're ready to step into it, or when it's required to be in that new space, that new role, then yes, you need to create that bridge first. So you have some familiar energy to connect it with you. Because again, we're working with along the timelines, right? So we're working more with our future self, so to speak. And the future self is coming forward a lot more strongly, knowing that we now have the knowledge, oh, I'm working with my future self to even more strongly bridge those frequencies and create this kind of coherence in the timelines, which makes everything easier, basically. Because this is a huge transition of energy. And a lot of people who are not quite there within their remembering, which is fine, some of this is going to be very up-leveling for them. It's going to be very, very almost distressing. So that's why there's so many of us being prepared to hold space for those people as well. But yeah, I feel the excitement of the new and the possibilities that are coming. And it's exciting, you know. At this point in my journey, everything feels so real and so tangible. Like coming, like if I project backwards to a past self who was just dreaming about this current state of, you know, awakening that we've already reached, like it seems like absolutely incredible to me. Yeah.
I guess could you share a little bit about your background, like how when you entered the space, what was available to us then and the difference that you're seeing in energy now?
Ooh, that's a big question. So if I go backwards to the past self, I guess one big thing is there wasn't a lot of platforms back then like there are now to even connect with tribe and share information so quickly. Like back in my early awakening, in my very early 20s, so I'm 41 now, it was only just Facebook back then and early YouTube. So if you wanted to learn about this stuff, I had to physically go to a bookstore, a metaphysical bookstore, or go to a physical class. I remember going to a channeling class wanting to learn, and I was absolutely terrified. Like my social anxiety was through the roof. I knew I could do it, but I was so nervous doing it in front of a group. I remember the facilitator coming up to me and going, "You can definitely channel." And I just was like, "Oh, I don't know how. I don't know what to do." But, you know, it was a stepping stone. So those are just examples. And then at those times, I do sense this feeling of density, like sort of darker, heavy energy was still quite prominent. And now it just feels like there's such a shift with a balancing with the light. Like I really feel like there's layers of support and protection that just weren't present before. And you know what? That really is a testament to all of the light workers globally, worldwide, who have been so dedicated and committed to the light work they've been doing, the grid work with Gaia, the healing within themselves, like we have tangibly shifted these timelines from our ground crew perspective. Like we really have. So yeah, that's all that's coming through now for that. Again, the Ascended Masters, they have told me that recently. We really have done this job of anchoring this light above and beyond what was actually deemed possible from a certain perspective. So I'm saying big hooray and thank you to all the light workers globally. Thank you for all your divine work.
I love this so much. And one of the other things I was very, very fascinated and interesting in is your beautiful artwork. And for those of us shifting into the like newer, I guess like higher technology or higher frequency energy work, light codes, light language, and what other, I guess like could you explain each? And also if you have picked up on other healing modalities or energy modalities that have been coming through for us.
So how I started my transmission work was I started with artwork. So this is one of my artworks here behind me. These are hand drawn on black paper, and then I just put a couple of digital elements to kind of brighten them up. And that's how I started this work. I just started sharing these on Facebook. People resonate with them. And then from there, people want their own channeled custom artworks, and then that moved into channeling sessions, and it kind of just naturally progressed from there. So the artwork transmissions are like light encoded frequency downloads. They're templates of light. So when you look upon them, just by looking at them, even for a few seconds, they are interacting with your field of light, and they're activating your divine remembrance within your DNA and within your auric field. Most of them contain sacred geometry, which is the language of the universe. And all of these elements, geometry, sound, light, they're all the same thing. They're just different variations, different expressions in different forms of information, basically. So the Merkaba here, the six-pointed star, is quite a prominent feature in most of my artworks. And the Merkaba is a highly activating shape and symbol, and it resonates with the Merkaba that we all have, our light body. And as we are moving through our ascension process, activating the light body is very important because it helps us to plug into our own divine essence and bring more of our divine essence into embodiment. And it opens up our natural psychic channels and multidimensional nature, because we are all cosmic multidimensional beings. We're just having a human experience. So the geometry in the artwork, the light codes, helps us to remember that we're divine beings. And yeah, so from the artwork, the progression was doing one-to-one sessions where I'm intuitively bringing through live light codes. So I'm bringing that through my voice, songs, the light language, and I'm guided by my higher self and my team to bring through certain frequencies and work with certain higher dimensional beings, such as Metatron. Metatron is one of those masters of light I work very closely with. And Metatron is like an overlighting guide for our ascension process. I work with the Christ light consciousness, and Master Yeshua very closely. And the Christ light is an absolute miracle frequency, and I do use that a lot when I'm using that for more of a healing session. And I work very closely with the Arcturians. The Arcturians are ninth dimensional and above multidimensional beings, and they have an extremely in-depth level of understanding about the universe, about healing, about light, about consciousness. And I am always learning from them. And they work on when we work with them for healing, we work on this really deep quantum level healing. And they work a lot with sacred geometry as well. When I bring them through in a session, what they actually do is they create for every person this very unique and very intricate mandala of light, which is like a living consciousness. And within that session, the client is held within that mandala the entire time. And I don't fully understand how it works, but I know that it's literally a personalized frequency that brings this clarity, coherence, and balance to that person in alignment with their higher self and their soul plan. And oh gosh, it's such an honor to work with them. They are just absolutely amazing. So they work with very high levels of quantum crystalline technology, a lot of which does go above my head. Sometimes I wish I was like trained as a scientist of some description so I could actually understand and translate it. But I know that the Arcturians are working with scientists to help bridge those new technologies, because when you're receptive, you can really plug into these new ideas, these new insights. So that is my hope, is that people from all walks of life, all different expertise, begin to open to their divine presence and turn on their multidimensional awareness. Because for, say, the Arcturians to connect with a scientist, or perhaps the Syrians to guide an archaeologist to a certain point on the earth to unearth some very important artifacts, like those are absolutely divinely orchestrated, amazing things that benefit everyone. So yeah, I went off on a bit of a tangent there, but this is how it all works. You know, there's a reason why we're all awakening. So I'm going to try and get back onto what I was describing, because you asked me about the artwork and the transmissions. Yes, and look, I love bringing through also the frequency and the presence of the Ascended Masters, which I call the Council of Shambhala. And that includes like Master Yeshua, Mary Magdalene, Saint Germain, Kuan Yin, and many others. And their radiant love and supportive energy has been instrumental to me personally in my own growth, and within a lot of the group work that I do with a group that I hold space for, which is called the Light Emissary Group. And our group meets once a month, and we focus our energy on creating the new earth, basically. We do grid work for Gaia, we receive transmissions, we work directly with the Council of Shambhala, and we send our love and our light and our own light codes into the fields of Gaia, so that everyone can benefit and everyone can receive their own divine remembrance. Gosh, you know, when I say all this out loud, I just feel so blessed that I get to do this higher service work in this way. I really am. I mean, if my past self could see what I'm doing now, she'd be like, really? Is that even possible? I'm like, yes, it absolutely is. It really is.
I love this so much. I love the information that you're sharing with us. And my understanding is that when we are all attuned to our unique frequency, and we're opening up the I guess like our divine remembrance, right? And anchoring more of these frequencies in, we also receive divine guidance from higher ascended masters, and probably our galactic guides, whether it's the Arcturians, Andromedans, Syrians, they also come through to guide us. It was so interesting. I had spoken to one of my mentors today, and I asked her the same thing. I said, what is the purpose of us experiencing this energy now? And she said, we are like ley lines on the grid of Gaia, but also in the universe. And so when we activate our divine frequency, we are the living field. And our living field will basically become like the energy architecture of the higher frequency grids within the universe itself. And I've heard that many, many times. And oh my God, I've seen it too, where, gosh, I was doing an activation session one time, and other multidimensional beings came in to receive the activation. And it hit me that we are no longer just supporting us like in the physical body, but we are also becoming ascended masters and guides for other multidimensional beings on their planets and for their ascension. So it goes beyond. And it really resonated with the expansiveness that I always felt. And I keep saying this. I said, if you've always felt this infinite, I guess it wouldn't be infinite, but I've always felt this expansiveness, that I was here for something much bigger. And I was looking for that externally, of course, but it was through the inner embodiment that led me to connect with the work that I do today. And then it clicked. I was like, wow, we work beyond with like intergalactic species, multi-universe frequencies.
I love what you're tuned into with that, about working in the galactic ley lines, almost, so to speak, with the cosmic level. And we are working with that. And yes, what we are walking and remembering right now is assisting the entire field and other species and planetary civilizations that are approaching their ascension or within their ascension. It just, everything that we learn, everything that we do, everything that we are gets fed back out to the field and out up through our I am presence and back to God's source creation. And then it comes back again. Like, it is amazing how this is just set up in this way, how everything is connected to everything else. I mean, it truly is this wonderful one web of life. And I love that we're helping in those ways too. And I think a lot of us are those guides. There's a lot of curiosity about how humanity is ascending. You know, we have attracted a lot of attention for lots of different reasons, and I can see why. You know, we're paving a new path. I know that the way this is unfolding has not been done before. I just feel it. We really are stepping into new territory. Yeah, you described that very well. And I keep tuning into the same thing, like this level of expansiveness and limitlessness. It just feels so empowering. Yeah. I love how you describe that.
Thank you. I would love to ask the Ascended Masters and the guides that you're connected to if they have anything that they would like to share with us that's imminent at this time.
I can definitely do that. I sense, do you have a more specific question that you're curious about?
I would say the frequency that I'm in or the field that I'm in, I would love a message for those who are resonating within the same space right now, who are moving through the void into their next level.
Yes, thank you. That was the question. That was it. Because now I feel the excitement, the joy, the expansion coming in response to your question. So I'm just going to pause and let that come through. So in response, I feel the full presence of the Council of Shambhala, and they quite literally bring in, and you can tune into this along with me, this radiant field of it's gold and white light, also mixed in with this rainbow. It's such radiant joy and love, and that is their presence. So I just invite you to breathe into that so you can feel it, experience it. And what they're doing first is they're actually bringing to you, Nicki, and to each person receiving and listening to this video, they're sending this great orb of radiant light, their light to your heart. And within that light, they are actually giving you a download, providing an answer to the question first in this way before they actually bring it through in any words or images. So allow that light to just alight upon your heart space, yet any knowing to come in. Allow any knowing to land. And they bring through an image now, and they're using Nicki in this image. So they show me you standing upon Mother Gaia, standing upon the earth with this radiant golden heart, and showing me as, yes, you as this radiant golden pillar, this bridge of light upon Gaia, with this radiant light flowing through you and into Gaia, and Gaia feeding that light back to you and up, going so far up into the cosmos, up into that galactic level and even beyond. And the council is speaking through Kuan Yin. Yes, thank you, Kuan Yin, for your divine presence. Yes, you are stepping into a new level of representation. So they keep saying like galactic ambassadors. So we are stepping into a time along a timeline where there will be much more tangible, visible connection with the higher dimensions, and beautiful guides, ascension guides such as Nicki, and yes, will be called into these high levels of being ambassadors, bridges of light between certain galactic societies, certain councils of light. Our family, and you'll be entrusted, you will be entrusted with these new keys, new codes, new technology. You'll be entrusted with this new information which will benefit all. For yes, one must be at a certain level of spiritual integrity, purity, and love to be an ambassador of this level, of this scope. Yes, to be an embodied ambassador of the galactic realms. Yes, and know that all is occurring in divine timing with certain cycles of light, certain cycles of divine remembering coming along your path now. And we say divine remembering on a mass scale. Yes, and we support you. We support you in stepping into these new roles. Yes, and in one very real sense, you are already playing these roles within your multidimensional self. You're simply bringing this awareness and those templates of those particular parts of you into field. Yes, and this may feel very big. It may feel out of reach. It may feel you do not have the capacity at this time to take on this role, but we assure you that you are well prepared and supported. Yes, and we ask you to continue building the new earth where you are in your reality, in your day-to-day life, by bringing higher love, pure love into your daily activities. Yes, and continue to be brave, to trust your inner guidance, trust the psychic impressions you are receiving, trust your divine messages from your guides and inner self. Ukara, useya nukura nikateya seyantura ningayotu, yasuro nukuya ke hatari satukera sunokere uwate. Thank you to the Council of Shambhala. We're bringing through this energy transmission this day. Blessings, blessings to you. Blessings and love. And you may continue to feel the presence of the council in your field of light, to continue to receive messages in this moment. If you wish to, thank you for receiving. And I can feel and sense that Nicki is continuing to receive light codes and information from the council. Her higher self. I can see it in your auric field. Beautiful.
Thank you. Wow. It was so interesting when you said you're receiving the orb and they're showing you like this inner knowing. And I saw these spaceships going between all different galactic realms. And then you said it afterwards that like we are galactic ambassadors between intergalactic connections. And I was like, oh my goodness.
I love that they brought that through first, because it's like what I said before. They're really inviting us to be in our mastery. So instead of giving us the answers, so to speak, they're allowing us to tune into our own truth that we already know first and to practice that. So I love how they did that. It's great. And I really appreciate your question, because the more specific the question, the more specific the response, like the stronger the energy, I find. Yeah. So I appreciate your question.
Thank you so much for that. And I'm so excited. The moment you said it, I could not stop laughing. I mean, not laughing, smiling. Like my smile was like all the way up to my eyes.
All the way up to your eye. But this is, yeah, we need that energy too, because that's part of being in a higher frequency and in a loving space, is to access that joy when we need it, you know, and to spread that. You know, if you're out and about in the world and you get a smile just from a stranger, I mean, it can change your whole energy and change your whole day. You know, I've definitely experienced that. So yeah, just, yeah, be the light where you are, because you just never know how far the ripples of your frequency or energy goes. You have no idea how you can impact people by just being your beautiful self.
I absolutely love the message that for us to incorporate this in our day-to-day, like this is true embodiment, is our expression is in our daily life. And I have noticed a shift personally of being more with my kids. Oh my goodness. And you have little ones. So I'm wondering, like, have you sensed your children, their crystalline DNA? Have you sensed anything of that kind with them? I'm not.
They just, from the minute they're born, they just bring through their own frequency that's so different to like our generation. And I just love that. I mean, I sense so much in them that is just within their pure essence that I don't really have a name for. I don't really have like a quality, call it, or a particular frequency. It's just such purity and presence. And that's, you know, part of the gift of children, is that they bring us into presence. They connect us with our inner child. And I'm just constantly amazed at what they bring through in the moment. And my kids are all very intuitive and creative, beautiful beings. And yeah, I get emotional when I talk about my kids, because I have no words for them, you know, and I'm their mum, so I'm their number one, you know, cheerleader. But yeah, they're bringing through a frequency that I don't even have words for. You know, moving beyond indigo children, crystal children, starseeds. It's like almost just such a pure source connection. Yeah. And the love that they bring is just beyond words. So yeah, I guess my role is just to hold that space for them to just stay connected to their essence, you know, that they don't disconnect. I mean, we all have our own journey with that. But they just stay connected to their essence, because that is what's going to lead them through life and lead them to what they want to experience and create, and for their life, for themselves. I'm interested to know if you've tuned into something with your own children too, if you're picking up on certain frequencies or anything like that with yours?
Interesting, because I haven't connected through like meditation with them, but it's almost like your experience of just witnessing their beingness affects me on such a profound level. When I do like inner child work for myself, because I've been integrating a lot of that now, especially with the energies of play, joy, and creativity, I think about my little ones. I think about how they play. And then I remember like that is the pure essence of play and joy and just they're so darn cute. Like I don't know, they're just so
I know.
cute.
They're precious and they're cute. I know. They're just full of life, you know? And there is
Oh,
something, their creativity is so pure, so without limits. It just is. It's like, here it is. Boom. No attachment, almost like the non-attachment to what it is, what it could be. Yeah. Yeah, I feel the same.
thank you so much, Lauren, for joining us and blessing us with your presence today and sharing your divine wisdom. Would you like to share your free gift with the audience?
Yes, I would love to. I have a channeled meditation activation from Metatron that I would love to offer your beautiful audience. And you can go over to my website, bluestartransmissions.com, to find all of my offerings.
Amazing. Thank you so much. I'm so, so excited for all of you tuning in and the amazing journey you're going through. Thank you again, Lauren, for being here. And with that said, I send you so much love, so much light, and I can't wait to see all of you in the next podcast episode.
Thank you so much, Nikki. It's been a pleasure being here with you today. Blessings and love.
Blessings.